So you got a nice, this is interesting. I've never been up to the Northeast before. It's not really where my people come from generally. You know, my father, my white father, would he'd take a traveling show on the road where he'd eat what he claimed was Indians off the bone. It normally wasn't. It was normally Mexicans, but he'd do it, you know, to raise a buck. He'd come back home to me because, you know, his dream was for me to go to Princeton. And he did that my entire childhood, you know. And I know that you're an Ivy League lady, so I thought maybe you'd appreciate, you know, just kind of where I'm coming from. You know, it's not maybe not how you grew up, but there's definitely there's a lot of pride in my family. You know, trying to get us to grow up, trying to move forward in the world. You know, my great grandfather was he founded the space program, and he was cast out of that in the late 1860s. You know, for being naked in the rocket. And after that, they said, you know, listen, I don't know what a space program is, and I'm not interested in it. Is essentially what the letter that, you know, Rutherford B. Hayes sent to him. And after that, he moved out to the Old West, and he said, no son of mine will ever be, you know, in line with these government fat cats ever again. And at the same time, though, he never did stop, you know, he never did stop with his experiments, and he sent a bunch of Native Americans close to space. The close to space is more of a spiritual term in the sense that he told them they'd be going, and he blew them on up before they could ever get anything past dirt. But, you know, the experimentation was there, and it was also, he was imprisoned and killed. He was hung. But thankfully not before he gave, you know, he impregnated his wife, who, you know, was the father of my mother. She's an interesting character. You know, I don't want to get, you know, you're over here, I'm folding your laundry, and I don't want to, you know, get too into my own history, you know. I thank you for this wine. It's delicious. But oh hey, I'll tell you. She was her family lived underground. And not like in a sense where they were hiding from literally like a 12-foot hole. And they had a little tunnel, and they dug down into it, and they would just sit there under the dirt. And they'd listen for the rumblings above, and, you know, they'd come out when they needed food. But for the most part, you know, her younger brother was born without eyes. He evolved that quickly to where he was born just no eyes, he was just smooth over his skin. And his fingers could tell you, you know, where the dirt was, and he'd catch a mole, or, you know, he could find a pipe play with. He was an extraordinary young man. He was killed by the police after he came up out of the hole, and he scared the villagers, and they shot him to death. He was 11. You know, but that's too dark for this kind of an event. What size were these, by the way? I'm not going to read it. That's you know, I think that's an invasion of your privacy. But they look like this is a nice. I can't tell the way you dress, but you got a nice. It's all right. How do you fold one of these? I'll worry about that one later. Let's get over these. So, you know, I don't know. So that's kind of, you know, where I'm coming from a little bit. I never did get to Princeton. My father, once they found out he was eating Mexicans, they sent him out to the ocean. And they took me with them. And I was raised on a boat out at sea. From the time I was 8 to the time I was, I think, 17 years old, I was raised on a boat at sea with several other monsters and their children who had been expelled from the United States. And they just sent us there to you know, figure it out for ourselves. Little did they know that we caught a bunch of sharks, and we took them, and we took those sharks, and we trained them to love us, you know, like a family. And those sharks caught us a lot of tuna, and those tuna were, you know, were amazing in the sense that they never went bad. And I swear nobody believes me when I tell them this, but that first tuna we caught, the first time we trained a shark, and he brought in that first tuna and we threw it up on the deck, 10 years later, we were eating that same tuna. It never went rotten. I don't know how it happened. It was some sort of miracle from above, Poseidon from below. We were not believed. You know, a lot of people think I have this accent and I have this beard and I have this t-shirt and I have, you know, that's kind of my general way of being. Very confident, very American, very sexual, that I'm a Christian. But, you know, my parents did not raise me that way. Like I said, my father he ate Christians. He told people they were Indians, but they were Christians. And my mother was, you know, she was raised underground, but when she came above ground, she was a nun until she was 50. And then one day, she was hit by my father, who had never met her before. Was walking. He struck her right in the cheek, and you know, she collapsed to the ground. He grabbed her up. He took her home. He fought off people trying to stop him. He had a knife on him. He always had a knife on him, but he had his knife on him. And he was fighting off, you know, people on the street who were saying, "Where are you taking that woman? You know, where are you taking that woman? And is this too much for you? I didn't mean to. Are you all right? I'm still folding your clothes here. I'm sorry if this is too." I'm not my father, you know? Yeah? All right. But it is what happened. It is the truth. So we fought him off. He sliced up people until he got away. And he took her home, and 3 days later, she was pregnant. And she gave up Jesus right there because he made her, mostly. But, you know, later in life, she did not regret it. And she never forced her you know, religion upon me. I was raised to, you know, I worshiped the sea. You know, not as a natural entity, but as a physical being. I was skidding along his skin. You know, I'm sure as hell that somewhere he has a face. I never seen it. Maybe he's face down. Maybe that, you know, he's face, but it's there. And you know, I still feel a closeness to that. I hate the water. I don't drink water. I shower. I shower in what I can find, but, you know, I still worship the sea as if it were, you know, an uncle, like a good, strong uncle who is magic. So, hell, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with this. No, let's talk about me a little bit. You're kind of, I mean, I'm here, right? So I think you kind of want to talk about me a little. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. I know this is like a lot of heavy talking. I know my family has a bit of a history. But I'm not trying to. Is this all right? Yeah? All right. You stop me whenever it starts to get weird, and I can just pop this off and we can get down to whatever's happening here. But until then, you know, I'm assuming these underwear for tomorrow for you to wear to breakfast. Or whatever. I'm not going to cook for you, but I can, you know, I got some meat in my bag that you can use to cook for both of us. How do you fold these? Like, seriously, though, where's the middle line? I find the mirror and it just kind of crumples over. No, all right, no, that's cool.
We go on.